react. So the two of them had a chat. Learned that the chief of staff wanted him to infiltrate the enemy. It is convenient to attack the weakness of Emperor Huang Wu. Add yourself. I thought I would use my brain more in the future. So I'm going to try to pursue timeliness. And Huang Kayaman is thinking. What is the chief of staff up to this time? Obviously used by Jin Lechen. But he gave Jin Lechen such a proposal. In fact, it is not surprising that he is angry. But he was very generous. Not only did he propose that I go undercover, even expressed, as long as I join the Emperor gang and give him information, will definitely help me create something that can kill the gang. The Lord's chance. Until this moment, Huang Kayaman was enlightened. So he told Jin Lechen, that's a really good idea. As long as you provide the Federation with intelligence that benefits them, can improve the division, the probability of losing those Emperor gang captains. But the two haven't chatted for a while. The gym class bell rang. And Huang Kayaman, I still take advantage of the free time to think. Chief of Staff proposal. When Jin Lechen entered the Emperor gang, I should have thought that if I were really a fake gang leader, this will also reach my ears. Then can I take this as he no longer doubts my signals? If not, could he be trying to turn the light back on? Gender verification once. Will I tell Jin Lechen who is undercover? Play tricks. When you think about it, the corners of his mouth can't help but pick up slightly. Because the development of things is too much in line with his heart. I understand. From the perspective of the chief of staff, if I wasn't a fake help, he can get through Jin Lechen, who is undercover in the Emperor gang. Seek your own interests. On the contrary, if I were a fake gang leader, then I have to avoid being suspected and pretend not to know that Jin Lechen is there. Sell information. That is to say, in either case, federations will benefit. In addition, when Guo Jijiang's rescue was launched before, Jin the chief has already put the undercover within the Federation, included in the consideration. And after Emperor Huang Wu appeared this time, he should have seen that Jin Lechen was seeking revenge. They're going to do something more practical. And I had hoped that he would get through these two things. Suggest that Jin Lechen enter the Emperor gang as an undercover agent. I didn't expect things to go as I wanted. In that case, then I don't need to suggest. After Jin Lechen joined the Emperor gang, leak the situation to the chief of staff. If you ask me why I have to make, the current situation is bound to be unfavorable to you. That's because I can use it to make future raids. The foundation of the chief of staff. Therefore, chief of staff, you must bear in mind seemingly free benefits. There must be a price to pay. The gazes of the two. Who will take the longer term? Boy for revenge. A dog that doesn't hesitate to be an enemy. But he almost didn't even deserve to be a dog. It was just now. Jin Lechen came to Haidong Park as agreed. But the other party did not prepare a welcome ceremony for him. Quite the opposite. The atmosphere here is terribly cold, because Jin Lechen still has to take the gang entrance test. Next second, several members of the Emperor gang gathered around. Surround him. In the beginning, Jin Lechen thought that all he had to do was defeat them. Until Kanazawa came to him first. It means your opponent is me. But you don't have to defeat me. As long as you can circle these guys, fight me out of range. Do not be kicked out of the field within 10 minutes. And if you hit me, you pass. On the contrary, if you were kicked off the court, or didn't punch me in 10 minutes, will be eliminated. But after listening to these words, Jin Lechen looked disdainful. I think the other person underestimates me too much. If the test ends quickly, you should be embarrassed. Do you really mind? Then he threw a punch at the fastest speed. But he was dodged by Kanazawa first. Little did he know that this was all expected by Jin Lechen. That blow he just made. In fact, it is to pave the way for the next blow. In this way, the other party cannot hide. But Kanazawa is surprisingly flexible. He not only completely avoided the past, he also grabbed the opponent's back shake to counterattack. Kicked Jin Lechen away. I just forgot to mention, if you pass out, you will also be eliminated. Meanwhile, the other side. Song Mingguo is discussing Jin Lechen with Huang Kayaman. He's sort of a famous guy. Otherwise, I won't join the Emperor list so easily. But Huang Keimin doesn't think so. Because he had communicated with Kanazawa before. I will persuade Jin Lechen to join the Emperor gang. But it has to pass my serious test. And Huang Keimin let Kanazawa almost do it first. After all, what I want to use is not his fighting power, but about this. Kanazawa refuses to back down. As much as I admire your bold strategy. But this war must not be compared to playing chess. Confuse. Because of the gang and the Emperor gang, members and wives are different. Each of them is an independent thinker. And their loyalty. It comes from the pride of belonging to the Emperor gang. So without any testing. Sudden airborne, a completely unheard of trump card. It's like insulting their pride. This will immediately turn into a suspicion of cadres. And it did a great disservice to my authority. In this way, I can't play the tactical role well. But Huang Keimin didn't understand. I want to know what tactics are. Our goal is to destroy the Dacian Federation. Suppose you put up flagpole after flagpole. This will remind you of the necessity to reach your destination. The path is a strategy. So think of strategies in order to get to your destination. And what you do is tactics. And the victory of the war. It comes from the combination of strategy and tactics. So even if the strategy is perfect, but without being able to execute his tactics, it becomes meaningless. Although I didn't know you were going to use Jin Lechen. What kind of strategy is developed? But simply put, if he's not a gang that can get talent recognized by members, then you have to give up this strategy. It seems that I am very fortunate that I chose to cooperate with you. Everything you just said, I really didn't think it through. Then do it your way. Take the gang test well. Although I already have the use in my head. Jin Lechen Lai attack, the chief of staff's key approach. But as Zishan said, if Jin Lechen cannot join the Emperor gang with dignity, then my method will be completely meaningless. But at that time, he even dealt with Guo Jijiang seemed to be struggling. And Brother Zexian's strength is above Guo Jijiang. If after that, Jin Lechen has not made any progress yet, it's impossible for him to pass Brother Zexian's test. And the result was not what Huang Keiming expected. At this time, Jin Lechen is being unilaterally beaten. But only 5 minutes have passed. If in the remaining time, he still can't hit the opponent, then waiting for Jin Lechen is to be eliminated. But he also learned in the process. Kanazawa not only combines strength and speed, it's also very flexible. It reminded him of Guo Jijiang he had met before. Can't help but complain. Could it be that the Emperor gang, are they all such a bunch of monsters? Haven't had much time to think. Kanazawa came at him again, waving his fists. Hit Jin Lechen hard. So much so that he almost went beyond the rules. Fortunately, there happened to be someone next to him. That's what got him on his feet. And the rule just doesn't say you can't touch them. So Kanazawa didn't say anything about it. But there are only 3 minutes left. If this continues, you have to admit, he's a big talker. Jin Lechen Wenyan said. He also hates people like this. But if I were to cut down a tree in an hour, then I'll spend 45 minutes sharpening the axe. So from now on, I'm going to start chopping. And the two people on the other side. Then we discussed whether to go to Haidong Park to watch a play. But just then, there was a beautiful woman looking around. This made Song Mingguo's eyes shine, complaining that I may never meet you in my life. That beautiful woman suddenly running over and pulling me away. Result next second, he actually ran in his direction. But the hand he grabbed was not Song Mingguo, but the yellow grass rice standing next to him. And it stunned him. I haven't come back to my senses for a long time. Even yellow grass rice is a little confused about the current situation. But Ma Heli said he was in a hurry. Obviously a guy with a strong sense of justice. You can play tricks harder than the villain. Because it's the only way he can win. It was just now. The entrance test only has the last 3 minutes left. Jin Lechen finally hit the opponent at this time. But his attack was blocked. It's still invalid according to the rules. So he was ready to take advantage of this morale. then launch an attack on Kanazawa. But the other party actually grabbed his back, shake, and they fought back. The strength of this punch just sent him flying. When Jin Lechen stood up again, there is only 1 last minute left. And Kanazawa can't help but replace Huang Kaming. Feel pity. At this level, you can't pass the test at all. Result next second, he is actually in goal. A smile appeared on Lechun's face. Just as he was puzzled, the other party has already rushed to the front. So he ducked sideways and raised his hand to fight back. Unexpectedly, Jin Lechen actually played a dirty trick and threw a handful of dirt in his face. This blow successfully interrupted Kanazawa's punch. It didn't leave him temporarily blind, because Kanazawa covered his eyes with his hands in time. But it also took him by surprise. I didn't expect this kid to stand up. He also grabbed a handful of soil on the ground, and Jin Lechen wants to take this opportunity. Attack each other. Unexpectedly, Kanazawa's reaction was amazing. To be able to evade this move and initiate a backkick at the same time, this makes Jin Lechen can't help but complain. That's a bit exaggerated. But he didn't give up. Instead, he took the blow with his face. Then he exhausted all his strength. Grabbed the right leg. Because the balance has been upset. This is also my only chance. As a result, Kanazawa fell to the ground first. Just as he was about to get back on his feet, Jin Lechen pounced directly on him. As a result, he couldn't stand up at all for a short time. The two were locked in a stalemate. This scene made everyone on the side couldn't help but sigh. This guy, I actually want to suppress the captain with that posture and push the captain out of the field. And at this time, the distance between the red line and Kanazawa Prefecture, only a few centimeters are left. And it made him shudder with rage. You guys were so courageous before. Now, they want to use this opportunistic approach. While saying this, his hands are also grabbing the ground hard. Although Jin Lechen didn't want to win in such a humiliating way. But he can't. What needs to be admitted has to be admitted. For me now, it is almost impossible to defeat Emperor Huang Wu. I want to walk over. Let him kneel before me. Such a happy revenge. The idea is too arrogant. So, even if you want to crawl over on the ground humbly, even in despicable ways, I also have to find a way to defeat him. In the current situation, this is the only way I can win. Available within the stipulated time, he still hasn't pushed Kanazawa out of the rules first. But Kanazawa passed the test for him. Until then, Jin Lechen breathed a sigh of relief, lying directly on the ground, because every time he does a lower limb exercise, you get dizzy. And Kanazawa came to the front of his subordinates, asked him for a prepared team uniform. Then he threw it on Jin Lechen. Praise him for his excellent tactics. Welcome to the Emperor Gang. But the others didn't welcome him very much, because he just threw dirt at the captain. It's just so despicable. But his strength at that moment competed. I did win, Captain Zexian. From this point of view, he is much tougher than normal people. It's better not to be easily provoked. Otherwise, it is estimated that the end will be miserable after seeing the effect you want. Kanazawa breathed a sigh of relief. Just when he wanted to call Huang Kaemin. When reporting the matter, the other party called first. It means that something big has happened. Those guys from the Federation, they took Maheli away. The girl just said a word. Let everyone present sweat profusely. Because of her boyfriend. It's actually famous. Emperor Huang Wu of He. It was just now. Maheli, I want to take yellow grass rice to see something. But just as the two were about to walk into the town, I actually bumped into a bunch of Federation guys. And the leading man, after seeing Maheli, I was deeply attracted to him. So he invited the other person to come on a date with him. Huang Kaemin whispered in his ear to remind. Why don't we go the other way? Unexpectedly, today's Maheli is like taking gunpowder. He actually let the man roll aside. Huang Kaemin opened his mouth in fright. What are you doing? Can't we just go in another direction? If you change it to normal, Ma Heli will definitely deal with this kind of thing very tactfully. But what happened to him today? And men see themselves being treated like minions. Also very dissatisfied. So I'm going to teach him a lesson. Otherwise, the face of the Federation will be lost by itself. But this blow was blocked by Huang Keaman. Brothers, excuse me. He doesn't know why he is particularly sensitive today. In fact, we are pure passers-by. Everyone was stunned when they heard the words. I didn't expect the other party to apologize to me. But then he laughed. Because they always feel familiar with this scene. Like the guy who pretends to be a pig and eats a tiger. To avoid conflict. A dress code. After seeing a few people misunderstand themselves, Huang Keaman quickly explained that I didn't mean that. But he also knew that conflict was inevitable. So he whispered a message to Ma Heli. Let him escape first, but the leading man is not ready to let go of the two. Result next second. The man was sizzled by the anti-wolf spray. So much so that he couldn't open his eyes in pain. You scream for help. Although Huang Keaman was surprised. He would actually carry this kind of thing with him. But in the current situation, it's just adding fuel to the fire. So Huang Keaman pulled Ma Heli and ran together. But his hair was grabbed by the other party. He was forcibly dragged back. Huang Keaman, who saw the scene, after cursing damn, he rushed back to the crowd. The result is at the end. Not only was my face bruised by the beating, not even Ma Heli was rescued. So he had to call Kanazawa. Call for help. After all, the man told him before he left. If you want to save your girlfriend, come to Master Industry. But the location of this school is very awkward. He has federations on both sides. Shield intestines and agents under its umbrella. Maybe it will be surrounded. And over there is the Emperor Gang. Behind the front lines, outside the sphere of influence. I have no reason. Suddenly dispatch the people of the Emperor Gang. And that makes the situation a little tricky. You have to sweep and attack. When Kanazawa first saw this, he said that he would attack. This made Huang Keaman slightly stunned. When you want to say something, he gave his reasons. May he leave once promised. The moment the Emperor Gang defeated the Federation, he can dismantle the Emperor Gang. Let this annoying Dacian battlefield disappear in an instant. Although he is a woman, but also to eliminate the battlefield and stand with us. Fighting companion. So I can't turn a blind eye to my peers. But the current situation is very unfavorable for us. I said tactics and strategy are equally important. I've been in your light all along. Leave this to my tactics. In that case, then I'll ask you about it. I also look for things I can help with. After hanging up the phone, Yellow Grass Rice is still very hesitant. Although there is no doubt about Brother Zexian's strength. But now, he is equivalent to taking the initiative to send himself into the tiger. The other side of the mouth at the same time. Expert Industry. There is a person running out of the library in a hurry. Report to the two. It means that the girl said she was Huang Wudi's girlfriend. As a result, no one dares to touch her now. The man squeezed his way through the crowd. Come to Ma Heli. And I grabbed him by the collar. The taunt is really full of running trains. What is Emperor Huang Wu's girlfriend? Even if you are. So what? Call Emperor Huang Wu over. I absolutely beat him all over the place. But Ma Heli exposed the man's lies at a glance. Although your words are beautiful, but your eyes wander. Plus, if you really have the confidence to win against Huang Emperor Wu, then you will immediately clean me up, instead of just grabbing my collar. Am I right? You coward who was scared by Emperor Huang Wu. The angry man's eyes were red. Can't suppress the anger inside. Raised his fist and wanted to teach Ma Heli a lesson. But his fist stopped in the air. Because outside the house at this time, there was the sound of a motorcycle engine. When a little brother looks out the window, I found out that the Emperor Gang was coming. Unexpectedly, the boy joined the underworld on the first day. Isolated. Obviously a group activity. But I just don't bring him as a newcomer to play. Little did he know that this was the request of his good brother. Because he had met Ma Heli once. It was just now. The Emperor Gang raided the Federation. Master Industries. Be the boss here. When senior soldiers need to know the news, wake up like a dream. I can no longer care about the two beautiful women next to me. Straight to the balcony. Looking at the scene in front of you, he frowned. Because he can sit in this position. It's not about money. It's not boxing. It's about connections. The so-called backstage. The high ice class realized this very early on. So even if you have good grades, or choose to follow, Brother Fengshan has come to master industry. After all, when he was in Baoyu building before, take care of yourself like a brother. This strategy of the senior soldier is also perfect. He is under the favor of Brother Fengshan. Naturally became the whole school. People that students dare not provoke. And because of the name of Brother Bongshan, those students in the same grade are at the high ice level, vulnerable in front of you. Therefore, he also naturally became the next, the school bully candidate in the world. After that, in order to establish his image, no hairstyle required, and all the other details, they all imitated the style of Brother Fengshan. Finally, he reached the canal. Success has inherited the position of master industrial boss. And this place was even more beautiful than he had imagined. Whether it's money or fame, even women, advanced soldiers can easily get. Therefore, in order to be able to do more, enjoy these benefits unscrupulously, opt to join the Federation, and take advantage of the distance between their schools. The geographical advantage of distance. Implemented food, drink, and plan to graduate in 1 year. The result is now good. The Emperor Gang actually raided the expert industry. This makes it difficult for senior soldiers to accept. Why let this moment test my leadership? When he arrived, he questioned his younger brother. If this is a trick, then hurry up and tell me the truth. It can't be the Emperor Gang. You broke into our school after you were full. Until then, he just found out that someone had caught a girl to play with. But that girl seems to be Emperor Huang Wu's girlfriend. That's why the scene happened. The senior soldier broke into a cold sweat after hearing this. Just as he was about to ask which bastard it was, when doing a good job, he suddenly remembered something. So I stopped and confirmed that with my brother. Is she really Emperor Huang Wu's girlfriend? It should be correct. After all, we just got him back. The Emperor Gang raided here. In fact, my personal opinion is send that girl back. It's better to clean up the current situation. Otherwise, it will cause trouble for no reason. And then lose. There will be no face on the Federation side. But the senior soldier rejected the suggestion of the younger brother. He saw it as an opportunity. The opportunity to move yourself to a higher throne. When I think of this, he couldn't help but smile. Then let the younger brother bring that girl to me. Meanwhile, the other side. Jin Lechen is sitting on a wooden chair, lost in thought. And he was curious. The guys in this coat. Is it right to be called over at any time? A situation of going to war with someone, no complaints. If that's the case, what kind of person was Emperor Huang Wu? However, he received a text message at this time. The screen changes. Come to the battlefield of master industry. The students here are being unilaterally beaten. But even so, Kanazawa still doesn't dare to dawdle. Call your men to hurry up. There is a possibility that the Federation's assistance will come at any time. The army then decided to settle the battle quickly. The people of the Emperor Gang used tactics. After driving the Federation guys together, under the leadership of Kanazawa, started driving side by side, knocked all the enemies on the road away. This scene also surprised Kanazawa. I didn't expect it to go as smoothly as usual during training. It's a pity that Jin Lechen is there. I couldn't let him experience such a scene once. But at present, except for a few captains of the Emperor Gang, no one else knows about Maheli. It's about Emperor Huang Wu's girlfriend. That is to say, this battle, externally, it's our guerrilla war against the master industry. So I have to save Maheli alone. In the classroom on the other side, Maheli, I also know the purpose of the senior soldier calling me here. So I asked him to call the chief of staff immediately. But this made the senior soldiers very puzzled. Wang's woman self-identified. What was his intention? The man just shouted with a loudspeaker. And it made everybody laugh. Not so much that the helper talked about a girlfriend. He wants to go to school. Because the gang leader is in the eyes of everyone, is only